Hello fellow creators, welcome back to this video. Okay, so as you can tell from the intro and the title of this video, we're going to be delving into how you can actually know the amount of yards that you need for the project that you are working on. Okay? So for the first way that you would actually know the amount of fabrics that you would need for your project is to have the sewing pattern already created. Okay, so funny enough, this is something that I've never actually done. What I usually do is that when I have an idea for a sewing project that I want to embark on, I would first of all go and get the fabric before actually cutting the pattern. And when I thought of this, it was literally like a light bulb moment, because what is actually stopping me from creating the pattern before I go and buy the fabric? Because once you have the pattern, once you've created the pattern, all you just need to do is get another fabric that you have in your stash. Just ensure that you know it's by 60. If you know the fabric that you want to buy is by 60, just make sure that the fabric that you're testing on is by 60. And maybe if it's by 45, like Ankara, that you want to work with, then you just get Ankara in your stash. You understand what I mean? But that is just that. And you don't even have to cut it out, of course. You just have to do just lay the pattern on your fabric and then just, arrange it the way you want to arrange it and just see, because that is just going to give you a proper idea of how many yards you would actually need for that sewing pattern in particular. Okay, because the other things that I'm just giving you are just like estimates, but with this way you can actually know how many like yards you would need directly. Okay.
Okay, guys, so let's do a quick practical on exactly how you can go ahead to do this. So I'm going to be using a row pattern that I drafted a while back. So let's just say it was silk that I planned to buy in the market. So as you can see, I just got a silk fabric that I had at home for this. So as you can see, the first thing you want to measure are the bodice pieces. Okay, so of course, as you can see, for this piece and for this pattern piece, it was my back panel and my front panel in one piece. Okay, so what I did was that I first of all folded my fabric, and then I went ahead to fold the other side as well so that I can measure the back panel as well. Okay, and as you can see, it fit properly. So yeah, that span of fabric was enough for my front and back panel. And of course, at this stage, you don't have to stress yourself to make it extremely accurate. You just have to get like an idea. So yeah, once you're done with the bodice patterns, then it's time to move on to the extra patterns, which are like maybe your sleeve, your facing, and all of that. If you have facing, then you want to get that as well. So to start the other parts, I just put my bodice pattern on the fabric at the top, and then I just put the ruler. So you don't have to use chalk. You can just use your ruler just to gauge. Okay, this is where I stopped and everything. So I just put the ruler as where it stopped, and then I just got my sleeve pattern, and then I just placed it there. So as you can see, of course, the width of the fabric is like quite long, so there was no need for me to, like even measure it, because of course it's going to be enough for my sleeves. It's going to be enough for 4 layers of the sleeve. And then the next thing that I had to take into consideration was the collar as well as the belt. Okay, so I knew that I wanted that to be around like 3 inches, 4 inches long, and as long as can be. Okay, so of course, since the width of the fabric was 60 inches, then I just went ahead to get, like, I just went ahead with that for both the collar and the belt. So with the sleeves, if you measure it, it's just a little bit below 1.5 inches. So I knew that, okay, if I go with 2 yards, that would definitely be enough for the rest of the collar and the um belt that I wanted to do. Okay, so yeah, that is just basically how to get this done if you want to get it done.
So yeah, that is just something that you want to do, and trust me, this is gonna be a game changer because I've tried it already, and you guys like is like it just works. Okay, that is a foolproof way. But maybe you do not want to do this, and maybe you just like you're just going out to just see this fabric and it's like, whoa, I need this fabric, and you don't have the time to create the sewing pattern for the fabric. Or maybe you're a freehand cutter and you like to cut on your fabrics. I got you, girl. Okay, I got you. And yeah, let's get on to what you would do if that is. Okay, so the first thing that you really want to consider if you just want to buy fabric on the go is like you want to consider, is it a by 60 or is it a by 45? Okay, this is really important because the longer it is, the more you can get from it. Because for instance, now that is like 15 inches short, right, for every yard that you buy. So that 15 inches, you can use it to like cut a sleeve or something. You can use it to like cut, like a waistband, belts, loop, and all of that. So that is one thing I will take note of because that is really, really important. Okay, so once you've already gotten that, by 60, by 45, which one, you also want to take note of your widest width, the widest width of your measurement. But this is not just, about like your hip. If you like want to like make like a circle skirt, you're going to have to want to measure, okay, what is the widest part of that hem, because that is going to be the widest part. It doesn't have to be like the measurement that you already have, like a bust, waist, hip. It could be like, the hem of the dress. It could be even the top of the dress. Maybe you want it to be gathered and all of that. So that is why it's good to plan ahead the sewing project that you're working on. Just plan ahead, look at it. Okay, this is what I would need for this project. Okay, this is what I would need. Like, these are the details of the project, these are the measurements I would need. It's just good to have all those things beforehand, before you actually go and get your fabric, before you actually start drafting your pattern, so that you're well aware of all the things that you would need. Okay, and then you want to take note of the simplicity of the design that you have in mind. Okay, because in as much as you want to get fabric for, like, just splurging and getting fabric, you still have to have an idea of what you can sew with that. And you have to, take into consideration, oh, is it just going to be, a simple dress? Is it going to be a dress with flounces? Is it going to be a dress with gathers? With, like, is it going to be a circle skirt? Because, the simplicity of the design determines how much fabric you're going to use. So if you know that you just want to make like a, straight skirt, then you know that, okay, you don't really need that much fabric, like 1 yard is going to be enough. But if you know that you want it to be like a circle skirt, then you know that, okay, 3 yards, 2 yards, that is what you would need. Okay. And then apart from, deciding the simplicity of the design, you also have to take into consideration how you're going to be cutting it, like what grain are you going to be cutting it on. Okay, so the only reason why you should take this into consideration is if you're going to be working with the bias grain. Okay, so if you're going to be cutting your dress on the bias grain, okay, because this is going to require you to shift the fabric to a diagonal angle, so you can't just, like, put the pattern straight. So yeah, that is what happened with this dress. So that is why 2 yards was not enough for me. But if it's like just cut like on the straight grain, it would definitely have been enough for me. Like 2 yards would have been enough for me for this dress. And then the last thing is that if you do not have time to create a sewing pattern, but you still want to have an idea before you go to the market to get it, then you can just put in your like pattern stash. I'm sure that you would definitely have something similar to that, so that you can just use that pattern instead to have an idea of how many yards that you would need. And if you're working with YouTube tutorials, if you follow YouTube tutorials a lot, we usually, just leave the amount of yards that you would need either in the video or in the description box. So make sure to check it out. If you're working with a tutorial, you would usually, be able to get the amount of yards that you would need for that dress. So yeah, those are, my tips for if, you do not have the pattern at hand and you still want to be able to, plan to work. But like I said, there are just sometimes that you just want to get your fabric and you just got this rack and it's like, oh, I need to get it. And it's probably something that you just have to, like, come down of your car from, or just like randomly go into a store. Do you understand? Or it's just like a spontaneous, shopping spree and all of that. So for that, I actually have a full guide of how many yards you would need for different types of blouses, tops, skirts, lengths, dresses, trousers, and all of that. So I'm going to be putting it on the screen here. I'm just going to leave it on the screen here just for you to, see it, screenshot it, feel free to screenshot, and yeah. Okay, guys, so that is for if you know that, okay, you don't exactly know, but you kind of have an idea. Okay, for this fabric, you want to use it to make a top, you want to make a dress. But if you have literally no idea what you want to use that fabric to sew, there is a magic number, and that is 3 yards. If you're going to buy fabric and you do not know what you want to sew with it, always buy 3 yards, okay? Because 3 yards is going to give you enough room to say, oh, okay, maybe I want to, like make a cord set, or you can just make like, a dress. So 3 yards is really the safe number, I think, because it would have been 2 yards, but 2 yards, if you want to make something extravagant, then it wouldn't be, enough. It won't be enough. Like, you want to make like pleats, you want to make like, circle skirts and all of that. So yeah, the magic number for me when I'm, shopping for fabrics is definitely gonna be 3 yards. So yeah, that is just after that. That is just after this quick video. I hope that you were able to learn something, and I hope that, this would really, stick with you and just help make the fabric shopping process much easier for you. So shameless plug here, I actually have a store, the Siege store, and we specialize in creating really highly customizable sewing kits. So we sell fabrics, and then we also add, the sewing material that you would need that would fit that particular fabric, that color of fabric. So yeah, the link to my website and my Instagram store is going to be linked down below in the comment section as well as the description box. So yeah, just gonna check that out. I'm very sure that you're gonna see a lot of fabrics that you love. You're gonna want to splurge on. Trust me, trust me, trust me. You're gonna love it there. Okay, so yeah, that is just that for that. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.